So I've been living out here in Medellin, Colombia now for over 3 years, and during that time, I've been able to go from making no money online whatsoever to now finally making over $40,000 per month in my early 20s. But after all this time, I've decided I'm going to be leaving Medellin, Colombia, and I want to explain to you why I'm doing that in this video. I want to break down all the pros and the cons that I have from living out here, so hopefully you can decide for yourself if you should go here or not. And also break down like the actual reason, the real reason why I'm leaving now after multiple years of living out here. So to start off with the pros, there's a lot of pros, and I have my notes here. I want to walk you guys through. So in terms of the pros of living out here in Medellin, Colombia, obviously going out here completely changed my life. I was literally like broke, stuck, living back in Sweden before I went here, couldn't figure out making money online. I went out here with about 4K saved up. And like just going out here in the first place changed everything for me. Allowed me to start making my first 5K, 10K, 20K, like all the incomes jumps that I've had have been out here. And the reason for that, the first pro, is because it's extremely easy to lock in out here, okay? Unless you're the guy who's just like stuck in the party lifestyle and taking drugs and things like that, which I don't have an issue with that. In that case, it's very, very, very easy to lock in out here. And here's why, okay? When you're out here, it's very convenient. You have literally like delivery straight to your door. You can order anything that you want. Like I get the highest quality meat that I eat because I eat kind of like a raw carnivore diet. I get meat delivered straight to my door multiple times per week. I get all the groceries that I need. There's an app called Rappi where you can order everything within 10 to 20 minutes. It's at your doorstep and it costs pretty much nothing to order either. So you can be extremely locked in. You can just like sit in front of your computer, be locked in your apartment, and just like sit down, work all day long if you need to. And that's what allowed me to really have big income jumps while being out there, because you can be so locked in and you don't have to spend time cooking or going to the grocery store or cleaning. Like all that stuff is super easy to get, and it's super cheap as well. Getting a cleaner to come over costs like less than $20 to get that done. You know, everything is super cheap, everything is super easy to get done and quick to get done, most importantly. So you can be locked in on stuff that actually matters. And on top of that, obviously it gives you more time to do fun shit as well, you know, going jet skiing and doing fun experiences because you don't have to spend time on the boring shit. That's a big pro experience. All of the places I've been to a lot of places in South America and like in Europe, etc. I think this is the place where I'm the most locked in because everything is just like so convenient. You can order everything and never really need to like leave your work basically. So you can spend your time on the stuff that matters. Next thing is this amazing weather, you know, like the weather you can see right now is super sunny. And it's pretty much that like all year round. There's no like real seasons. It's always the same temperature. So around like 20 to probably like 28 degrees Celsius. You can convert that yourself if you're in the US to Fahrenheit. So it's always like perfect weather, and also the culture. You know, people are super like happy, kind, warm, big pro. And I personally like the Latino culture, like the music and how people are, etc. So that's a big pro as well if you like the more like a warm and more like social culture that they have here, compared to other places, for example, like Sweden, where I'm from, everyone's like super cold and shit. So I prefer this a lot. People are actually warm. People say hello when you meet someone on the street. You know, in Sweden, people don't talk to each other whatsoever. So that's a big pro from being here. It's like overall, it's more enjoyable being out on the street and like just meeting people because people are always nice. And another big pro is, especially when I came here for the first time, is there's a lot of good people to network with. There's a lot of people out there that do similar stuff to what I was doing, because I do high ticket sales, and there's a lot of people that do high ticket sales out there, people I could meet up, learn from, and network with. Just by being here, if you go to the right gyms, if you live in Poblado, like the main area, it's very easy to network and be around people that do the same things as you, and then you just like learn from those people. So going from like 0 to 10K, 20K per month, in my opinion, is one of the best places to be to network and be around same level people, for sure. That's also tied to one of the big cons, though. I'm gonna get to that in a second, of why I'm actually leaving here, but I'll get to that in a second. Next big pro is the time zone. You know, obviously the US is like the biggest like a money hub in the world, where like most of the money is being made. Being here, you're in the US time zone, you're in the same time zone as like New York and Florida, so you're basically like in the ideal time zone to work. If you're working like I was doing for a US company in high ticket sales, it's perfect being here for the time zone as well, compared to like Bali or compared to like Thailand. I was actually thinking about going there in the past, but like the time zone just makes it super hard to actually make it work out there. So that's another big pro, is like the time zone is really perfect being out there. And the last massive pro for me specifically, has been this very, very good access to high quality food out here. You know, I eat, like I said before, a raw carnivore diet where I eat a lot of raw meat, raw eggs and things like that. I'm able to source extremely good, high quality, like grass-fed, unvaccinated, like super high quality meat, raw butter, unpasteurized, like everything is, and honestly, it took me a lot of time to find this. I had to like do a lot of like digging and like ask different people, but eventually I've gotten about 2 to 4 different contacts for these high quality and like food sources. So I have very easy access to that, get it delivered to my house every single week. Super, super convenient, and you can eat very, very high quality stuff by being out there. So that's a big, big pro as well. A lot of other places, like I've been in Brazil, been to Argentina and some other places where it's very hard to get your hands on that stuff. Here it's been very easy to get my hands on that, so that's big, big pro. Okay, now on to the cons. Why am I actually leaving this place after, like I said, literally having this place changed my life, having my entire like upcoming journey happen out here? Why am I leaving? Okay, number one, and this is not like the main reason, but part of the reason, is that this place, Medellin, Colombia, because it's pretty close to the US and it's obviously way cheaper than the US, it attracts weird people. You know, when you go around, when you go out to a restaurant, you go out to like a rooftop out here, you tend to like meet these people, and like overall at gyms like everywhere, that are here for the wrong reasons. You know, they've been working, let's say for example, they're working in 9 to 5 in the US, been saving up money, and they go here to retire, which is like a completely different kind of way of life than I'm living. Someone who's ambitious and wants to make money online, etc. That's one thing. And then you obviously have the entire crowd going here to just like basically for dating, and like the passport bros, or even people going in using like prostitutes, which is something that I'm completely opposed to. But obviously, there's a lot of people doing that out there because it's a big thing out there, you know. So like partying, drinking, drugs, prostitution. Obviously, like all the guys that come here and do that stuff. That's unfortunately, because it's a cheap place and pretty close to the US, etc., that ends up being the reality, you know? And it hasn't affected me like a massive amount because I don't really go to the places where it's parties and things like that. I don't really hang around those people. You can easily like avoid that. But it definitely, like when you're moving around, and especially when you're like in the main areas of Poblado and like the gyms around there and like the restaurants, you keep seeing that, and it definitely does like affect you, you know, when you're around those people. It kind of, I wouldn't say that you don't categorize yourself as one of them, but it's like, it's just weird being around, like being in an environment, you know, because you get affected by the thoughts and what people do in your environment. So that's definitely like a con, is having a lot of those people being here and like coming here for the wrong reasons. Obviously, it also affects like how Colombians views the gringos and how they view like foreigners like myself as well. So that's definitely a con. It's like the people this place attracts because of low cost of living, relative low cost of living, and just like the party life and things like that. And like I said before as well, if you cannot stay out of like partying and like going to clubs, etc., like that's very, very accessible out there. I have personally not had an issue with that whatsoever because I'm very like, I don't have a hard time like staying away from that stuff. I'm very just like locked in on stuff I'm doing and my mission. But if you know yourself and you cannot stay away from that, I would not go out there because it's very accessible. Like I literally go out on the street any day and there's parties happening like everywhere. You can get drinks and stuff like everywhere, super cheap. So that's definitely a big risk if you can't like handle yourself. Another con is that there's no beach, there's no sea out there. That's actually after me being in Brazil now for a couple of months, being in Rio and Florianopolis, I kind of miss the beach and the sea. There's obviously no beach. I heard that they're planning on like building some like artificial beach. I don't know how that's gonna be, to be honest, but we'll see about that. But yeah, there's no beach, no sea, so that's obviously like a big con. Especially when you're making money online, it's like there's so many places you can be in where there is beach, sea, and you have the same kind of like city vibes that you have here. So why would you not be in a place where you have a beach and sea over a place where you only have like a city? You know, that's been one of the pretty much main reasons why I'm leaving. And I'm gonna get into more like exciting stuff in a minute, but that's one of the reasons. Because if I could be in a place where I have water, I can go swim every single day and like be in the ocean, why would I not be there over being in a city, you know? And obviously with like there's a lot of health reasons why being in the ocean is super healthy for you, with like minerals and be able to get sun and just like relaxation, be able to detach, etc. That's something that I definitely miss being out there. One of the reasons I am leaving as well. I'm also gonna tell you in a second where I'm actually planning on going at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. And next thing is kind of tied to that as well. Like there's no beaches, there's no sea, and it's also very noisy. You know, like obviously it depends on where you live. If you live like a bit outside of the city, you can live in like more calm areas, but then you're living super far away from everything. If you live like I'm living right now, like in the city, it's pretty noisy. You know, there's like construction going on in most places. There's cars pretty like loud driving at the night. So it's hard to kind of get into that like low cortisol state. You know, you're always kind of a bit like on the edge, which I don't think is a huge issue. Like I'm still able to work, get stuff done, but you're definitely like always a bit like it's on edge, you know, because there's stuff happening all the time. Like there's a lot of noises, people moving around. Obviously there's, I think it's around 4 million people living in this pretty small city. So there's a lot of people all the time. So it's, you don't really gonna have this like chill and like super quiet and calm environment. So if you're looking for that, definitely not the right place to be. And that's also part of the reason why I'm leaving, is to have like more peace of mind, be able to like think more clearly and just kind of relax my nervous system. Because I definitely think out here, your nervous system is a bit like elevated at all times because of like, the amount of activity that's going on. Like the city kind of has like this pulse, which I love and hate. You know, I love coming here because there's always like this energy stuff is going on all the time. But it's also kind of hard to relax because the city has this like pulse and this constant stuff going on. Like the city is alive all the times. So that's another like, I guess, con that I've experienced and the reason why I'm leaving. And now the big thing here, the big reason why I'm personally leaving, and the big thing that I'm noticing, that a lot of people that come to this city, to Medellin, Colombia, and it kind of changes them, you know? The city changes them in a way. They come here with like myself, they come here with ambition, with goals. When I was 19 years old, I moved here from Sweden. I had big goals of making it, and that's why I came here in the first place. And I was able to get to those goals and make it quickly by being out here. But what happens to a lot of people is they kind of get maxed out. You know, you come here, you start making 5K, 10K, 15K per month because you're locked in and like you're having a good lifestyle. You can travel around to the coast, go jet skiing, go on fun trips, rent car, rent houses in the countryside. Like you can do all the like cool shit. But then I think a lot of people get kind of capped out. I definitely fell into this during a couple of months, but I was able to snap out of it pretty quickly. A lot of people get maxed out and they have big goals when they come here, and then it's like, okay, now I'm making 10K a month. I can do exactly what I want to be able to do. I have the exact freedom that I dreamt of. And it's like, why push myself further? Why have bigger goals? You know, and I see people that come with ambition and potential, and they come here and they just kind of end up retiring almost. And they end up, you know, just like happy with where they're at. I think that's a big con. You know, like I don't want to end up, because I have big goals that I want to achieve, and I'm very clear on like why I want to achieve those goals, which is why I think that I haven't fallen into a trap as bad as a lot of other people. But that's one big thing, is that realize that going from 0 to 10K or 15K a month, for like getting that first freedom out here, perfect. But be careful of not going out here and like getting stuck and like being complacent and getting stuck at that level. Big thing, you know. And I think this is the case for most other places as well, with like Thailand, Bali, like these cheaper places. A lot of people go there and they get happy, they get complacent because they're maxed out, become like the top dog in that space. And that's really the main thing that I've noticed. And that's why I want to like really deep down a bit, because that's why I'm leaving as well. For me, going from 0 to making the money I'm making right now, making over 40K a month consistently, it's been great. I've been able to lock in super well, been able to make way more money than I even like dreamt of in the beginning. In the beginning, when I came here, my goal was just 10K a month, that was it. I've been able to get past that, but I've also noticed that I have a certain like identity tied to my location. You know, like when you're in a surrounding where like the income I'm making right now is like the top of what people make out there. You know, obviously there's people that make more than me, for sure. There's people that make way more than me out there. People that have like 100K, 200K a month, 500K a month incomes out there for sure. But I noticed for myself that if I want to get to the next level, the fastest and the easiest way to do so is exactly what I did when I came out here, is changing from Sweden to a completely new environment. And that's what I'm doing moving forward. I'm going to change into an environment that's going to align myself with the 100K, 150K, 200K per month version of myself, step into that, and that's how I'm going to get to the next level. That's why I'm leaving. Because, and then this doesn't mean that if you're, for example, if you're right now, if you're making like 2K per month, you're working a 9 to 5, or you're just starting off making money online, you should probably go here. It's probably going to be a great move for you if you align with the stuff that I said before in this video. But when you get to that level where you've kind of broken through that and you hit those goals that you have of making 10, 20K per month, I strongly think that either changing to another place, or is getting very clear on like why you want to push yourself to the next level. I think that's crucial, because otherwise, I've seen this firsthand with like close friends that I have, came here with massive goals and then they end up getting stagnant. They find a girl out here, they end up making like 8 10K a month and they just cruise there, and I see so much potential in those people, and they're simply stuck because they've maxed themselves out in the environment. They become like the top dog, and everyone they compare themselves to is at a lower level. That's why going to a place like Marbella, where I was last year, I'm definitely going to be going back there as well. Places like, I haven't been in Dubai for a long time, but I've been in the past, places like Dubai, even like Stockholm, you know, or places like Miami, like obviously there's all these different like hotspots out in the world. I think Marbella is a big one I'm gonna be coming back to, where you're surrounded with people doing better than you. You see nice cars, people with big yachts, like that energy, at least for me, it motivates me to push further. I think that's key. If you're someone watching this right now, you have bigger goals, for sure. Like go to a place like Bali, Thailand, or Medellin, Colombia, where you have the right time zone, you have the right people to make the first 10, 20K a month. But just be careful you don't get stuck there, because the worst thing that could happen is like you end up in a place where you get kind of comfortable, and then you look back and like 2 years passes, 4 years passes, 5 years passes, and you're like, shit, I haven't actually pushed myself to my full potential because I've just been stagnant because of my surrounding. That is why I'm moving. That is why I'm stepping into a new environment where I'm going to be pushing myself to get to the next level. And yeah, stay tuned on the channel. I'm going to show you exactly where I'm going to be going. And it's going to be probably Spain for a bit, and then some other places. I'm going to obviously document that on the channel, so make sure you stay tuned here. I hope this was valuable. Hope you got some insights from watching this video, and I'm definitely going to be coming back out to Medellin, Colombia. Like I said, I love this place. It's a great place. Yes, for me right now, I'm moving forward to get to the next level and the goals that I have. That requires also changing my environment to make it happen. So hope this is valuable, and if you have any questions, shoot me a DM on Instagram, download the video. If you want to work with me one-on-one to get into high-ticket sales, the business model I do, get placed in a good company from my network, and get trained up by me, you can book a call down below this video, talk to me directly, and see if I can actually help you through my one-on-one coaching. And that's it. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.